Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 5 April 2020. Coming to you this evening with a review of a strap company, a watch strap company. And it's one that I really like. And just by way of transparency, I got to tell you that every strap I'm going to show you in this video tonight is one that I purchased from the company we're talking about, which is Barton watch bands. None of these have been supplied by Barton's. I've purchased them all, and I'm just giving you my honest take on what they provide. A little bit about Barton. By their story, Our Story section of the information tab on their website, Barton watch bands was born out of one man's recurring frustration over poorly designed watch straps. An avid traveler, fun enthusiast, and relatively obsessive watch guy, he couldn't find the balance between fashion, function, and fit. So, mechanical engineer that he was, he started designing them himself. Today at Barton's headquarters, the collection and the team have grown, but the mission remains the same: to deliver high-quality bands at reasonable price with the kind of service that makes you want to high-five a stranger. We always have and always will stand behind our products with the Barton guarantee. And you'll see later in this video that that's a fact. So, let's get into it, shall we? What I have before the camera for you are 3 examples of Barton watch bands straps. On the left, you see one of their Elite silicone straps. In the center, on my beloved Seiko Sarks 033, one of their top grain Top Dog leather straps. And then one of their canvas straps on the right on my Sarb 033. So let's unclutter the camera and we'll kind of get to them one by one. Let's see, what did I purchase first? I believe I was looking for a strap for my Sarks. It comes on a bracelet, as most of you know. And guys, I am that obsessive watch guy who likes to change up the appearance of my timepieces by changing straps. And I'm not a bracelet guy. I tend to be pretty hard on bracelets. I prefer a strap because they're a lot less expensive to replace than a bracelet, and most times more comfortable. And they make the entire package way less. So I wanted a leather strap for my Sarks. I knew I wanted something in a brown. I knew I wanted a contrasting cream or linen colored stitching. So I started looking around. And another thing that was really important to me was that it be top grain leather, not genuine leather. And I wanted something with quick release spring bars because, you know, even if you're tooled up with good quality spring bar removal tools, sometimes it's pretty easy to scratch lugs, gouge lugs, changing straps. And quick release spring bars make it so much easier. So much easier. Never a scratch. Easy to do. They're just awesome. And just my experience, guys, I have never had a quick release spring bar come loose from accidental deployment of the lever. Just my experience. I'm not saying I'd want to go diving with a quick release, but if I'm, you know, in the pool, or it's definitely if I'm in the ocean with a dive watch, we're not going to be wearing a quick release 2-piece. I think NATOs are the way to go. That way, if you have spring bar failure, you don't lose your watch head. Anyhow, I digress. So, why the Barton top grain leather strap? Well, they appeared to be really high quality, and I think they are. You get a beautifully finished, nice edge finishing, top grain leather in saddle brown, linen colored stitching as they call it, top grain leather, A very nice soft lining, also leather. Well-constructed keepers. The first keeper is securely stitched in place. Second keeper floats. Just really nice. Nicely made buckle. This one is polished. Nice, nice detent for the dog to sit in. Spring bar secured buckle. So, you know, if you had this strap on a watch that came with a branded buckle, a signed buckle in the right width, you could definitely change it. Pretty nice strap, very high quality. What do you think that strap costs? Yeah, you're not going to believe it. 25 bucks, and I think I bought this. Yeah, I know the reason that I have this strap, and the reason I have this strap, which we'll talk about, is because they had a 15% off 3 or more promotion, which they actually have currently to this day, if you're watching this video in a relatively timely fashion. So I think I had like, I don't know, $55 worth of straps or something, and you take 15% off that. So what did I pay? Like 42 bucks or something for 3 nicely made straps plus postage. Yeah. How can you beat that? And let's go ahead and put this thing on wrist. I'll be back in a second to show you how it lies. So for my, what, $22 and change, this is what I got. Man, it's pretty smart looking, I think. And here was my thinking. This Barton's is all over social media. They seem to have nice looking stuff. I'm going to spend under 50 bucks to get 3 of their straps in various configurations. If they suck, I'm out less than 50 bucks. And if they're nice, what a deal. Turns out they're pretty nice. Now there is a price to be paid for inexpensive, and that is, and some of you see this coming, they are assembled in China, designed in Austin, Texas. So yeah, they're Chinese made straps, but they're high quality materials. They look good, they function well, with one caveat that we will get to later in the video. So this is the top grain, top dog leather strap. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And next let's talk about the Elite Silicone, which I have 2 of. The blue, and this, I think this is such a cool combo. Notice the Longines Conquest VHP with the blue dial and the red printing for VHP, the red markers, red tip secondhand. The navy blue Elite Silicone goes well, and then look, peeking through, the crimson underside. And you see that when the watch is sideways, and you see it in the lug gaps if you're turned just right. This looks so cool on that watch. Kind of a sporty Longines. And guys, so comfortable. Let's get that one out. And then this is my original. I just bought that blue one. This is in my original shipment from Barton's, and this is also an Elite Silicone, black on top with pumpkin on the bottom. I just got that for a splash of color. I wear this on my Citizen ProMaster Eco Drive Quartz dive watch, and also on my beloved Casio Duro. From time to time, this strap changes places. I generally love silicone watch straps. They're durable, they're comfortable, they don't seem to stink if you sweat in them. They're very inert. yeah, I just love them. Comfortable is the main thing. And these guys, these Silicone Elites from Barton's, they are the most comfortable silicone I've ever worn. There's a couple neat things. Of course, they're quick release, just like the leather strap that we looked at. If you notice, the thickness, it's a little thicker near the lug, and it's reinforced. So they kind of hold this shape near the lugs, which is really, it makes them lie really nicely. And then they get very limp and pliable as you get away from the lugs. Also, the neat thing about the Silicone Elite series, not only do you get this beautiful texture, it does tend to catch a little bit of lint, but not bad. Just gives you a little bit of visual interest. But not only do you get that, you also get 2 female ends. This is the shorter one, and then it comes with one that's, gosh, an inch and a half longer. And I'm going to put this on wrist to show you. So this is the Elite Silicone on wrist, and you can see how much tag end I have on my 7 1/4 inch wrist, maybe 7 1/8 if I'm dehydrated. So the other strap, or the other female strap, is about 1.5 inches longer, which would come almost up to the case on my wrist. And then it also comes with a second keeper. Now I could be wearing both of those, but I don't think I need to with the short strap. So you could go NATO style with the second keeper and loop the tag end under, or I think if you have very large wrists, you'd use that long female end and 2 keepers. If you were wearing this in a dive situation on top of a wetsuit, you might want to use the long end. Very cool. And they're like 20 bucks. And this, guys, is the most comfortable silicone strap I've ever had on my wrist. It's like you forget you're wearing a watch. I know a lot of silicone straps have that effect, but these are they've got this like powdery soft inner lining that's just great. I guess, you know, some guys might say, boy, I'd like some waffling back there to give me a little air gap, but I don't really find it necessary. It's hard to describe how soft, supple, and slippery these are. But you know, I tend to wear my watches a little on the snug side, as evidenced by after wearing a watch all day. But I don't have to have these silicone straps super tight for the watch head to stay in place. They kind of seem to, without causing you any discomfort, this silicone surface just seems to hold onto your skin and provide a little traction. It's really good. Really, really good. And you know, for 20 bucks, less if you're using a discount code, if you had to replace it, you know, let's say this is the only strap you had on a watch. If you had to buy one every year, who cares? Because during that year, it's going to be the most comfortable watch strap you have. I just love them. They also make a little less expensive silicone that's smooth. This is the Elite Textured. Here's the other great thing. Look how tightly spaced the holes are. Guys, if you can't find an adjustment point that's comfortable with this strap, you cannot be pleased. I'm just saying. They're just awesome. Love them, love them, love them. Yeah. They're strong where they need to be strong up here by the lugs. They're limp where they need to be limp. Quick releases work great. They look super, especially this blue and crimson. What's not to like? Next, and this is an interesting, I'll tell you the whole story. So this is my Sarb, and I thought, you know, for dressing down the Sarb, that green sailcloth would really look nice. And it does, doesn't it? Yeah. But before I get to the canvas, I'm going to tell you my story about the sailcloth. So here's what I kind of found. There were 3 things I didn't like about this strap, and it has nothing to do with the fabric. The fabric's fine. First of all, look at the holes. And this is essentially out of the box because this strap was on the watch for less than 2 hours before I gave up and sent an email. So there is no effort at all made to melt the fibers at the edge of each hole. I have no idea what this would look like in a year, but it can't be good. That was one issue. Another issue I had with the sailcloth strap was that, I don't know, it's this one. This is not an original spring bar. I was actually doing my initial swap, and I had the SARB, on a microfiber, and I was sort of, wrestling things around with the second piece of the strap, and I noticed there's a piece of metal in my microfiber towel. Well, it was the lever from the original spring bar in this piece of the strap. It had just fallen out, and the head was kind of malformed. There were no discernible threads or anything. Anyway, it was held into the bar. It just fell out, which then makes it really interesting to get the spring bar out of the watch, because you don't have conventional steps and collars at the ends. I had to like find the hole and get in there with a pick, and it wasn't fun. So I replaced that spring bar with this one after a little while. But so I actually emailed Barton's. The other thing I just didn't like is that it's just not a very compliant strap. I think it's a little too thickly padded for my taste. So I emailed customer service at Barton's and decided to have it exchanged for the canvas strap, just because spring bar problem or not, you get this issue with the holes and the padding is just overdone, just for my opinion. So they replaced it with this canvas strap, and I expected them to send me like a return label or some kind of an envelope to mail this back to them. Well, they didn't. So here it sits. I'll not use it. If somebody wants this, shoot me a message. I'll send it to you. With a functional quick release spring bar at this point. Anyway, so then I became acquainted with the canvas strap, and frankly, I don't think this looks great with the SARB. A lot of stitching on top. I think that's kind of garish for the watch, but I think I showed you guys a shot of this on my Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical, and man, it really stuns on that watch. I'll put this on wrist for you so you can see how it lies, and it's really good on the wrist. Be right back. Little to no padding, probably no padding in this one, just the fabric on the top and the fabric of the lining, and man, it just lies beautifully on the wrist. It's limp and supple, but still very strong. And this is canvas, so it's not meltable like nylon. So they've done a great job of buttonhole type stitching around each hole to keep any fraying to a minimum. I did have one little flyer thread end that probably should have terminated under the strap, but I just melted it. It's nylon thread. Hard to tell, but they've buttonhole reinforced the access holes for the quick release spring bars as well. Again, you've got a nice stitched in first keeper and a sliding second keeper. Nice little Barton's tag. Something else of interest, guys, before we end this one. you've got your choice of hardware every time you buy one of these Barton straps, and I think on everything that has a regular buckle that they sell, you have your choice of polished, brushed, black PVD, and then they've even got a couple like rose gold and pink gold or something colors, if you're getting wild with your stuff. So you can pick whatever kind of hardware you want depending on the watch and the strap that you're outfitting, which I think is really cool. Something else that's a little special about Barton's, I think, is that they make a couple models of watch straps that are made in specific colors to support local Austin-based charities. One is the Flatwater Foundation, and that's a local charity in Austin that helps patients and families being treated for cancer meet their needs during the time of their need. And there's Well Aware, which is an Austin-based charity that works to obtain sustainable clean water solutions in African communities, which is really cool. So just a socially responsible American company, albeit selling Chinese manufactured products, but they're certainly not the only ones, and they don't hide it like some companies do. It is what it is, and that comes along with a cost factor that reflects it. And other than the one quality hiccup that I had with the spring bar, and it wasn't a failure that caused the spring bar to come out, it was a failure that made it harder to get out, right? Other than that, I've been super happy with everything I've had from Barton's to this point, and customer service is awesome. What's not to like? I certainly own more expensive straps than these. It's interesting, though, that I've got a $25 strap on an $800 automatic Seiko, but I do. Yeah. So thumbs up for Barton. And just one thing I gotta mention before we close: there are a lot of companies, whether you're a knife nut or a watch nut or both. When you get on social media to participate in your hobby, there are companies that they hound you to the ends of the earth to buy their stuff. Companies that really, really maximize their presence on social media, and they use all the technology to make sure they pop up in whatever you're looking at. They manufacture social media buzz by giving product away to influencers who are just looking for free stuff. They'll say anything about anything if they get something free. You guys know that's not how it works on this channel. This is a company, Barton's, that I kind of took a flyer on, not expecting much, and having been bowled over by what I actually received. Barton's is definitely not the MVMT watches of the strap world at all. They're more like the Orient watch of the strap world. You get a whole lot for your money, and you're never going to be embarrassed walking around with an $800 watch on a $25 strap if it says Barton on the back. That's about all I have to say about that. Hope you guys are having a good weekend, staying safe and virus-free. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp, and oh yeah, my Longines Conquest VHP is always right on time.